Panther football is now on the air.
10, 5 to the house. Shouts off an tackler at the 5, and he's in for a score. Touchdown, Belleville East. The 25-20, blocked out inside the red zone. Mark across the 19-yard line.
Now it's time for the Lancer Football pregame show. And welcome into the Lancer Football pregame show. Welcome into the booth. I'm Steven Stock here on the call. My partner, Joey Van Summerin, will join me later here in the broadcast as we get closer to game time. And welcome into the pregame show. We have East St. Louis Flyers coming in with a record of 1-2, taking on your Belleville Lancers, who are 2-1 on the year after a win last Friday at Mattia Valley. We'll talk about it all here on the pregame show. Welcome in. It's a beautiful, sunny Saturday afternoon. It's very sunny, but beautiful nonetheless for some football. It's a really good football matchup today. East St. Louis is coming into town, and one of the best high school football teams in the country, and probably the best in the state, and definitely the best in the Metro East, as we've seen it the past few years. We saw it last year when East St. Louis took on East. I believe it was a 62-0 victory. We'll see if that happens here today. But here on the pregame show, we're going to be talking about the Week 3, also a little bit of Week 2 for Belleville East against Pekin, and then last week against Mattia Valley. We'll be talking about East St. Louis's schedule so far in their season. We're going to be talking about our player to bank on, some stats from both sides, and later on have our interview again with Coach Henderson talking about Week 2 and 3 and Week 4 upcoming matchup against the Flyers here in a little bit. That's going to be your pregame show, and also the week in Lancer Athletics. Also at the end of the pregame. So we're going to take a short break, and let's get this one started. We'll be right back after the short message from the Lancer Bands.
I'm excited about the growth and just how the band has come so far, and how everything is just improving so fast, and how much improvement we have made too.
I'm excited about the concept. Our show is called After Dark, so there's a lot of stuff from midnight. We make a crescent moon, and our props are big light posts, which are very cool.
I'm excited about the competitions. We'll have 5, and we're in the BOA, that's in the Big Dome, and then we'll host our own at West, and we'll have a great time.
NMAO TVA!
And welcome back to the Lancer Football pregame show. As a short message from the Lancer Bands. You can hear their halftime performance always here on the Belleville Podcast Network at the halftime of today's game between East and East St. Louis. So our first segment here at the Lancer Football pregame show, let's go in and talk last week for the Belleville East Lancers. The road game, so obviously we were unable to broadcast it, but man, it was a good game for the Lancers. A lot better from Week 2. I feel like they definitely learned from their mistakes, focused on that in practice, and just got better, played better. And definitely we saw that against Mattia Valley, as the Lancers improved to a record of 2-1 by picking up the win 52-19 over the Mustangs. A great win for the Lancers, and really there wasn't much turnovers as we saw in the Pekin game, and the defense was really good. I mean, in the first drive for Mattia Valley, it was Sonny McGill for the Lancers able to get a pick 6 to the house, really to start off the scoring for Belleville. So let's go ahead and get into the scoring. So Sonny McGill started off with a pick 6, and then later in the first quarter, it was Marcavius Curtin, who we were looking for him to get going in Week 2, 2 weeks ago against Pekin. He really never did, but he was able to figure it out against Mattia Valley, and he ended up having 2 touchdowns in the game. He had one in the first quarter and one later, and then so that made it 13-0 Lancers, as the extra point was no good. And then in the second quarter, it was Marcavius Curtin again, another 9-yard touchdown run that made it 19-0 as the extra point was no good. Okay, sorry. And then it was Darion Milliner showing off the arm as he had a 29-yard pass to Armin Vincent that gave East a 26-0 lead And then it was Mateo Valley getting a 69-yard pass to make it 26-6. Going into the half, so the Lancers looking really good. They were up by 3 scores at the half, and then they kept on scoring. They did not let off the gas pedal, as it was Darion Miller on a 1-yard run. He had a really good game. We'll talk about his stats after we get through this. He had a 1-yard run. The kick failed again, which made it a 32-6 lead for the Belleville Lancers. And then it was Moisey Trimble on that big run. He's had a few big runs on the year so far. Trimble, a big 61-yard run that made it 28-6. And then it was after that, it was a Luke Fruckbond touchdown run and a Keaton Jones pass from Armin Vincent. They give the Lancers a 52-18 win over the Mateo Valley Mustangs. And Darion Miller finished that game with 14 for 21 throwing, 228 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Armin Vincent threw 2 for 2, 67 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. Pretty good stats on the throwing wise. And then rushing was a really good game, over 100 yards combined, 136 to be exact, on 26 carries. That's a 5 yards per carry. And with Moisey Trimble eating half of those was 70. A big game for the Lancers in week 2. Now let's go ahead and talk about East St. Louis, who is started off the year 1-2, but obviously with them being one of the best high school football teams in the country, they're playing some really good teams. They took on Baltimore St. Francis in week 1 and lost 20-13, which I know is probably a really good school. And then week 2, who I thought was a really good team in CBC, they were really good as well, but East St. Louis is just better, as they won that game 64-19. So that's why I feel like it's going to be a really tough matchup for the Lancers today. If CBC is getting blown out like that by this East St. Louis Flyers team, it's going to be tough for the Lancers to combat it. But then last week, the Flyers took on Creekside, Georgia, and lost 10-8. So they're coming in 1-2. This is their first Southwestern Conference opponent. Southwestern Conference game, same thing for the Lancers here in week 4. We're going to take another short break. We'll be right back. Coming up next is going to be some stats, player to bank on this week in Lancer Athletics and Lancer Conversation. Coming up next on the Lancer Football pregame show. Welcome back to the Lancer Football pregame show. We're wrapping up here as for our last segment before this week in Lancer Athletics and a Lancer Conversation. Let's go ahead and look at the East St. Louis roster, do a little homework here before the game, and just look at this team. They're really loaded, obviously, with one of the best teams in the state and the country. This team is loaded. I was looking at the seniors and the college commits, and they have this offensive lineman by the name of Miles McVeigh, who is a 358 6'6" lineman that's committed to Alabama. This kid is something. He's going to be someone to watch out for. But they have 5 college commits in the top 50 in 247 Sports. We look at it. The number 8 is Paris Patterson, a wide receiver. Interior offensive lineman. I don't know where I got wide receiver at, to Arkansas. Then after that, they have coming in at number 17, Brendan Henderson, a offensive tackle going to Iowa State. Antoine Hayden at 26, which is a linebacker committed to the University of Illinois. And at 47, it's Keyshawn Hayden, an edge rusher committed to Central Michigan. So this team's going to be really good. Their defensive line, and especially the offensive line, that's 3 commits that are seniors committed to colleges on that offensive line. So it is going to be tough for the Lancers pass rush and run defense to be able to get any noise. We'll see how that goes against this East St. Louis offensive line, trying to give their QB a lot of time to throw and the running back some holes. Our player to bank on for this week is going to be wide receiver Armin Vincent, who has been on a tear these last 2 games, catching the football and throwing the football. This guy is a QB and a wide receiver. We saw it in week 2 against Pekin. He had a touchdown against the Dragons, and in week 3 he had another touchdown against Mateo Valley, and in 67 yards still with a passing touchdown. He is a player to bank on here in this one. And so far, Armin Vincent on the year has 7 catches for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 41 yards last week and then 46 yards 2 weeks ago in Pekin. So Belleville is going to need him to be a factor in the offensive side of the football, receiving-wise, and maybe see him a little bit in the QB role. We'll find out. It's going to be an interesting game plan, how you want to use him. He's been really good these last 2 weeks, and hopefully he can continue that and keep his Lansford team in the game against East St. Louis. That's your player to bank on here for Week 4 against East St. Louis. Coming up now is This Week in Lancer Athletics. This week in Lancer Athletics was a busy week for the Lancer sports team. Start off with the boys soccer. The Lancers had to play 3 games in 3 days against West on Tuesday, Granite City on Wednesday, and Collinsville on Thursday. Start off on Tuesday, the boys were able to defeat Belleville West by a score of 2-1 with goals by sophomore Mike Allen and junior Anton Mosley. Then on Wednesday, the Lancers defeated Granite City 4-1 with goals by Wilmer Arrega, Quinn Uriquez, Josh Dinger, and Tanner Stinnett. Unfortunately, on Thursday, though, the Lancers' undefeated season ended at 8-1. They lost to the Collinsville Jayhawks 2-1. The lone goal was scored by Anton Mosley with under 2 minutes left. But unfortunately, the Lancers were unable to pull off a miracle at Collinsville. The Lancers are now 8-1 and set at first place in the Southwestern Conference. And their next game is Tuesday at Alton, and the next home game is Thursday against O'Fallon, which can be seen on the Belleville East Broadcast Network. Now on to girls volleyball. The girls volleyball team played 1 game this week, and it was against a big game against Belleville West at home. The Lancers ended up winning in 3 sets after winning set 1 25-21, losing set 2 25-23, and then winning set 3 26-24. A really good game. And here is the game-winning call from my partner, Cam Desjardins, on Thursday.
Belleville East game point. Faith Williams back to serve. Game point, Faith Williams. Looks like Coach Hanger's trying to tell her team to calm down.
Send it home. Can they send West home and pack it?
Let's see. Let's find out. It's a good serve in.
Great
it's a pass. It's out of bounds.
Oh, East wins! East wins! Ball game at Belleville.
Scramble the floor.
26-24. We'll talk about it next on the Belleville East Broadcast Network.
After the win on Thursday, the girls volleyball team now improves to a record of 7-5, and their next home games Monday against Althoff, Tuesday against East St. Louis, and both of those games can be seen on the Belleville East Broadcast Network. Now shift over to the golf. We'll start off with the girls golf team, where the Lady Lancers took on Althoff and Belleville West on Tuesday and won 165-193 to 208 against Althoff and the Maroons. And then on Thursday, the Lancers were in action at the Pete Dye golf tournament at the Yorktown Golf Course. They had a total score of 271, which was good for a 5th place finish on the course. Now on to the boys' side of golf, where the Bellevilles took on the Jayhawks on Tuesday, and unfortunately lost to the Jayhawks golf team. And the Southwestern Conference tournament is next week for the boys' golf team. That was your week in Lancer Athletics. That was your This Week in Lancer Athletics. Remember the home games next week for girls volleyball, Althoff and East St. Louis, and then boys soccer home against O'Fallon on Thursday. Will be on the Belleville East Broadcast Network. You can tune in and watch if you cannot come out and make the games. And now to wrap off the pregame show will be the Lancer Conversation here with Michael, our head coach, Michael Henderson. Appreciate him taking his time to join me again this week. A really good interview. And we talk about week 2 and 3 against Pekin and Mateo Valley, and then a little bit of East St. Louis this week and how it's going to be how to win the game. What's the game plan coming in? As this is a very tough matchup for them. Hopefully, they're going to be able to succeed and go out there and play just like they did against Pekin. Keep fighting, keep making plays, keep giving that effort. That's going to be it. I'll see you guys for the play-by-play coming up at 12:25 in Lancer Football pregame show. And that is going to conclude it. Here's the Lancer Conversation, and we'll see you at the end for the play-by-play.
Welcome back for episode 2 of the Lancer Conversation. I'm joined again by our guest from episode 1, Lancer football coach Michael Harrison. Thank you for taking time to join me again.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing it, man.
It's a week 4 now. You guys are 2-1. Big win last Friday night. Before we get into that, I want to go and talk a little bit about week 2 against Pekin. You guys are down 21 after the half. It was a tough first half. What was the messaging going into half to the guys? What were the coaches telling you guys?
Yeah, we, kind of all week long, Pekin was a good ball club. We knew that they would do some things and have some success. So we talked to the guys about just preparing for adversity and facing that adversity and not backing down. So, coming into the halftime, again, the message was really just, hey, gentlemen, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew that that there was going to be some adversity. Obviously, it hit us a little bit quicker than we thought it would with them returning to open and kickoff. But the message was, let's stick with the game plan and let's go out and take it one play at a time and see what we could battle back. And so I was proud of the way the guys came out after halftime. We were able to move the ball, score some points, and make it a ball game.
Well, you guys did make it a ball game. Outscored them 22-12 in that second half. You guys played really well. I know it's a loss. You don't want to be happy about a loss, but the fight in that second half, the effort was very good.
It was good to see our kids continue to battle. The guys didn't quit. Again, a lot of times it's very easy to kind of fold the tent and pack up shop, and our guys didn't do that. And again, we were able to make it a ball game. Coming down. They're down the stretch. I think if the ball bounces, a different way one or two times there, maybe it's a different outcome in the game.
Special teams is the big what if in that game against Beacon. Started the game, you allowed a kickoff return touchdown, but then you had 2 blocked punts, one ends in a defensive touchdown, one ends in a safety, and then a blocked punt and a punt return in the fourth quarter. You got to be happy about some of those plays and not so happy about the others.
Yeah, we kind of pride ourselves on special teams. We talk to the guys. Special teams is really 1/3 of the game. You got your offense and your defense, and most teams, most programs spend a bunch of time on offense and defense, and then kind of throw special teams there at the end. Well, you talk about special teams being one of the few plays that's normally a scoring opportunity. On a punt situation, the ball is going to change field by 30, 40 yards every punt. So those plays are vitally important. And again, if you can get them going in your direction, you have a very good chance of winning the football game.
Late in the game versus Pekin, I think it was the second to last drive, linebacker and kicker Rico suffered an injury. It's been almost 2 weeks now. Do you have any update on him?
We don't know still the severity of it. The good news is he's feeling better. He's got some appointments to meet Doc. The team doc obviously saw him on the sideline and was kind of 50-50. And so we're waiting to see, just exactly what it is. But we're hopeful. Like I said, he was up and bouncing around, moving around. I saw him down yesterday in the trainer's office with Mr. Krimmel. And so, we're hopefully we get him back. And obviously he's a basketball player as well. So hoping that we get him back for basketball too.
All right, let's go into week 3. You guys played a really, really good win for you guys this past Friday. 52-19 was the final score at Tia Valley. You guys lost from last year, 15-14, on a touchdown with about 5 minutes left in the game. How does it feel to avenge that loss? And
that was a tough loss for us last year. We went up there and honestly dominated the football game for the most part, with the exception there of that last 5 minutes. They had 2 big long passes there at the end of the game to kind of sneak back and beat us. And so that was one that didn't sit real well with us all off season. So going into this year, again, it was just one that we felt like if we went up and we executed and we did the things that we worked on in practice, that we would be able to be successful. And so it was nice to see our kids have some success.
Let's go to the schedule last year. You guys play the same 3 opponents, and up to this point, you had to combine 29 points on offense. This year, you guys have scored 94 points. There's been substantial improvement on the offense and defensive side of the ball. What's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, it's just a hats off to our kids and our coaches. Honestly, we, in terms of our scheme, we're not doing anything that's totally different from what we did last year. I think now the guys are just buying into it more, and we're executing better. We're blocking better up front. Again, to be honest, the same running back is carrying the ball. Trimble's had 2 or 3 big runs that have really helped us out. We got a couple of new faces on the offensive side of the ball this year in terms of guys like MJ Curitin or guys like Justin Spears or guys like Jordan Pickett who came out. And so they're obviously helping us out as well. But I think more than anything, the guys have really bought into what we're trying to do. The coaching staff is really, honed in on guys just work on our basic techniques. We got to be better blockers, better tacklers. On the offensive side of the ball, we got to throw and catch the ball better. And, that's, I think, led to some of our success this year.
On the offensive side of the ball, Armin Vincent, one of your receivers, has been a threat these last 2 games. 2 touchdowns and a big force on offense. How much has the impact he made this year?
Yeah, Armand is honestly been one of our calming forces out wide. You know, he plays quarterback for us as well, but has kind of starred in that receiver role, a guy that we know on third down. You know, when we throw it to him, he's going to catch it. And I think our quarterback DJ is confident in knowing where Armand's going to be, and we know when Armand, gets the ball in his hands, he can do good things.
2 weeks ago, we talked about the defense and the ability to create turnovers, and we saw that again last week against Matia Valley. Started the game pick 6 from Sonny McGill. Tell us more about that play.
Yeah, honestly, we kind of got off to a slow start on the defensive side of the ball. They hit us with probably 3 or 4 big runs right there to start the game, and so for Sonny to step up and create a turnover, and then not only create the takeaway, but be able to, take it all the way back to the house and put points on the board for us was huge. I think it really kind of got us off to the start that we needed, a quick start, and really helped us just get the train running. I think after that turnover, it was bang, bang, bang. We, put a couple of quick touchdowns on them and, kind of took away and ran away with the football game after that.
You guys have a really good opponent this week in East St. Louis, one of the best high schools in the state and even in the country. What's the game plan coming in? How do you stop these guys, at least try and contain them?
Yeah, the message to our guys, we went in and we watched some film on them yesterday, and they're a good football team. Again, we don't take anything away from them, great football program, but just like everybody else, I think there's things and there's opportunities that we can capitalize on, and the thing that I talk to our guys about is, number one, we can't beat ourselves, right? We can't allow the big play, we can't turn the ball over. We got to make them earn everything that they get, and then on the other side of it is we got to keep doing the things that we've been able to do. So far this season, you kind of hinted at it at the beginning, we've been able to move the ball, we've been able to put some things together. We're not coming out with some fancy new offense or some creative new team. We're going to do the stuff that we do. We're going to block and tackle, and if we execute on offense and score some points, we'll be able to make it a football game.
Last question to end the interview.
Yep.
What's one thing you think you guys did really well on Friday, and one thing you need to improve on coming into the Saturday?
I think one thing that we did really well this weekend, this Friday, is we took the plays that were available. Again, I talked to the guys as we were watching film. I said, guys, nobody jumped off a table and did 3 cartwheels and, did anything magical, right? When an opportunity was there for a play, we made it, right? And it was across the board, whether it was offense or defense. That's something that we got to continue to do. We don't need anybody to do anything like totally out of body or totally, just magical. We just need to make sure that we capitalize on opportunities. Something that we got to improve in, again, is what we talked about, the special teams. We had a big blunder. We got a punt block. We got a couple of extra points blocked. Those are points that we can't let slip away. So that'll be one of the big focuses this weekend practice, is cleaning up some of those special teams, but then just continuing to execute the things that we do.
Well, that's the interview for episode 2 of Lancer Conversation. Thank you, Mike Larson, for taking the time. Good luck on Saturday.
Hey, thank you. Go Lancers.
Yes, sir.
Welcome into the broadcast booth here on the Lancer Football Pregame Show. We're getting ready here for kickoff. I'm Steven Stock here on the call. My partner, Joey Van Zumeren, and Tristan Melvin is behind the mic, or behind the camera doing our camera work. Here's tonight's starters before we begin.
Tonight's starters are presented by the Daily Grind. Starting with the offense, quarterback Darion Munder, Jr., running back Marcavius Kirkin, Sr., Moisey Trumbull, Sr., wide receiver Armand Vincent, Jr., wide receiver Jordan Pickett, Sr., wide receiver Des Clark, Jr., the offensive line, Tajon Thomas, Jr., Jonathan Rulo, freshman, Kennedy Geddes, Sr., Camden Schaefer, Jr., Raymond Jones, Jr. Now on to the defense, starting with the defensive ends. Anthony Cunningham, Sr., O.J. Mosley, Sr., defensive tackle Jonathan Rulo, freshman, linebacker Cameron McCall, Sr., Linebacker, Jaden Coleman, senior. Linebacker, Aiden Howard, senior. Linebacker, Simeon Mitchell, junior. On to the cornerbacks, Sonny McGill, senior. DeAndre Clark, senior. Over to the safety positions, Khalil Waller, junior. Xavier Martin, junior. On to the special teams, kicker, Rico Lee, senior. Keithan Jones, sophomore. Returner, Khalil Waller, junior. And long snapper, Noah Peters, sophomore.
Those are tonight's starters, or this afternoon's starters, actually, on a Saturday afternoon here. East St. Louis and Belleville East football coming up here shortly. Joined by Joey here, my partner, Tristan, behind the camera once again. And those are starters presented by the Daily Grind. The Daily Grind, they went in there Friday morning, and it's pretty packed. If you haven't got the opportunity to go up there to the library and check it out. And let's go ahead and start off with the Rico Lee injury update. I know, Joey, we saw 2 weeks ago. Pika, he suffered an injury late in the fourth quarter. Talked to Coach Harrison. They're taking it slowly, but he's kicking today. Not obviously playing linebacker, but kicker. That's good to see from him. As you know, East last week, I think we had 3 blocked extra points, or missed extra points, in fact. So good to see.
That's good to hear. No, was that a shoulder injury he was dealing with?
I believe so. I can't. Don't remember exactly. So let's go over to East St. Louis real quick. Before I was talking about during the pregame show, these guys got a lot of playmakers. They got a lot of college commits, especially to Alabama and Arkansas. I'm going to talk about the offense, though. Jesse Watson's a wide receiver who has 8 catches for 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Laravius Woods has 28 carries, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. Christopher Bennett Jr., 12 carries, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a punt return touchdown as well. I was watching Mizzou, Kansas State last week, and something I learned from that, you don't want to put the football directly at the guy. So hopefully East does not do that today. Something I learned from there. And then our quarterback, Robert Battles, is throwing 35 for 81, 43%, 456 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks, a rating of 79.5. But he is running the football for 33 carries, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. So we'll see probably some QB sneaks, some QB draws. And then, but one thing though that is positive for Belleville East, last week against Creekside, Robert Battle threw for 8 for 27, 29.6 percentage, 70 yards passing, no touchdowns, 1 pick with a 35.3 rating, and only 11 attempts at 9 yards. So something maybe East can continue to stop them.
Yeah, this is without a shadow of doubt Belleville East's toughest challenge on their schedule this year. With East St. Louis being a powerhouse, it's going to be a tough match. So we'll have to see what Michael Harrison schemes up today.
We're getting ready here, about under 2 minutes to go before the kickoff, and East St. Louis. Belleville East had a really good win against Mateo Valley. I believe they probably patched up some of the mistakes, some issues that they were committing in week 2. Would you agree on that? Yeah,
they definitely seem to clean up their mental mistakes, at least by the scoreboard would indicate that. So hopefully they can continue that today. 50 points is obviously a rare thing to do, but I did look back through the record books thanks to St. Louis High School Sports, and the last time Belleville East scored 50 points was 2015, which was also the last time they beat East St. Louis. So hopefully that trend continues like it did in 2015, and I really think this is an improved Lancers team from the past few years.
We're getting ready for kickoff. Let's go ahead and get to the field view. Tristan will put our camera up, and we're getting ready. Looks like Belleville East will be kicking first as East St. Louis will receive. Kicker Rico Lee is going to be kicking this one away. So let me go ahead and get everything pulled up on my side.
Coming out here big for Belleville East, who at least on this first drive not let East St. Louis get a touchdown right out of the gate here on this first drive.
And one thing I want to see is no kick return touchdown from 2 weeks ago.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Because that could set the tone big time.
Getting set up here. A little bit of wind.
Yeah, it's going to be tough battling the wind with the papers today, but we'll try our best, as it is tough up here. We got bones and everything, and here we go. It is going to be Rico Lee kicking this one off. It is a short kick inside the 25. It is going to go out of bounds and a flag throw, and that ball is going to go out to about the 40. We'll see where they mark it. I'm not sure what it is for high school, but it'll be around midfield.
Yeah, I've honestly not the worst idea, not the worst outcome there.
Obviously could go worse, as we saw 2 weeks ago against Pekin, that it was a kick return to the house.
Right, here comes the St. Louis offense out here.
Led by quarterback Robert Battle. East St. Louis coming in 1-2, but obviously you're going to be 1-2 when you're not playing or playing really good opponents around the country. They had a big win over CBC 2 weeks ago, who a lot of people thought was the best team in the Metro East.
Yep, and then last week they were down in Georgia for a game that they ended up losing.
1st and 10, we'll mark them at the 34, 35, it looks like. It'll be 3 to the right, 1 to the left for Battle. Here comes a snap. They're going to throw it right side. That ball is caught across the 30, out across the 35, going right to the boundary, and out of bounds at about the 41. A gain of about 6. It'll be 2nd down and medium.
Not a bad tackle there by Jaden Coleman, forcing him to the outside so he can't gain any more yards on that screen.
Jaden Coleman and Jaden Howard are going to have to be forces at the linebacker position, make some tackles. Don't let East St. Louis break one and maybe take one to the house. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Ball spot at the 41. We're just underway on a Saturday afternoon here at Belleville, at least between the Flyers and the Lancers. It'll be 1 to the right, 3 to the left. Snapper going to fake the handoff. Ball spotted, and it's incomplete.
East, it's going to be ruled incompletion on a fumble, obviously.
3rd down. That ball, defensive line came in there and batted that one down. 3rd down. Can the Lancers get out of a drive and force a 3 and out and maybe start some momentum?
Wow, that was a great play there. I can't find, looked like it was number 54 for Belleville East there. What a great play.
54, Eugene Bryan, the junior. I believe, if I remember correctly, he was one of the injured players from 2 weeks ago. Good to see him back in there.
Looks like a similar formation to the last play. Running back switching sides.
They flipped it. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Takes a snap, going to look to throw. East St. Louis running back wide open out across the 36. Pass is caught. Juke move at the 39. They're going to stop at the 41.
Way short of the markers.
And it's 4th down. The Lancers stop him at the line of scrimmage, and we'll see if he'll go 3 and out. That's a good start for the Belleville East defense.
Probably going to confuse that many times.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was going to say Belleville East, but then East St. Louis came out.
Luckily, looks like the East
punt team.
Bringing out the punt team. Michael Harrison mentioned in your conversation with him, Stephen, they got to clean up the special teams errors that they've had problems with. So that would be great here to secure this stop on the first drive.
Punter back at the 24. Khalil Waller, the junior, the returner, back at the 24 of his own for the Lancers. The Lancer defense just forced a 3 and out of East St. Louis. It's a short punt, and it's going to take a bounce inside the 40 at about the 36, 37. That's where the Lancers will start off. Really good field position.
Yeah, I don't think you could have asked for a better way to start off the game for the Lancers besides a turnover going up against this offense.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the 36 here in a moment.
Three consecutive screenplays there for the East St. Louis offense. Honestly surprised they didn't try to open up the playbook a little bit more there on that first drive.
Yeah, especially with solid field position. And well, yeah, the ball at the 35. And here we go. It's going to be 1st down and 10. Darion Millender had a really good game last week, no interceptions. 1st and 10, 1 to the left, 2 to the right. Taking the snap, going to hand it off up the middle. And tripped. I believe that was Curtin, who tripped back at the 35. It'll be about a loss of 2, 2nd down and long.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much room to go there, but unfortunate that he slipped right before the line of scrimmage on that play. Making some substitutions here.
It'll be a loss of 2.
Looks like wide receiver Desmond Clark was subbed in here before this play.
One of the starters. He had a nice week last week against Mateo Valley.
In motion?
In motion, right, left to right. And there we go, gets set. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Miller takes the snap, gonna look to throw. Slip screen, and it's incomplete maybe. Couldn't really see. It looks like it is 3rd down. It looked like it was intercepted for a moment. But
yeah.
Luckily it was not. 3rd down. I believe that was Curtin, the intended receiver.
Looks like they were lucky that the Lancers player didn't catch that one because it would have been a loss of 2. Obviously.
Take it incomplete.
Yeah, obviously more thankful that East St. Louis defensive lineman dropped it.
East St. Louis trying to get out of a drive. It's 3rd down and 12. East at their own 35-yard line. It'll be 2 to the left, 1 to the right. A tight end and wing set, running back to the left of Melander. Takes the snap, gonna look to throw. Steps to the right side over the middle. That pass is incomplete. It was tipped by number 12, East St. Louis. That was Teron Martin. And the freshman, and it'll be 4th down, and the Lancers are going to go 3 and outs. We have 2 3 and outs to start off this one.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, the Flyers' defensive line is putting a lot of the pressure on Melander right now. And on 2nd down, they were trying to get that running back screen, but by the time Melander made the decision to go to his back, it was too late, and the defensive lineman was already on him like glue.
Melander goes 0 for 2, throwing the football. That wide receiver, intended receiver on that play was Des Clark. And it is going to be
great punt there. It's going to go to the 31.
Returned and out across the right side about the 41. They stop him there.
Okay, great job by the Lancers special team surrounding the carrier. Make sure he had no room to go on that return. East St. Louis getting the ball back here.
Lancer drive went 4 plays for -2. Last East St. Louis drive went 3 plays for 5. We'll see how this one goes. Ball spot at the 43.
Similar offensive formation.
1 to the right, 3 to the left. Running back right side. You're going to hand it off out across the 45. It tumbles forward at about the 49, maybe the 50, a gain of about 6 or 7.
Initial contact made there by the defensive line by the Lancers, but couldn't make the tackle.
Number 5, that was Marquise Palmer.
Yeah, luckily the second level made that tackle on that run. Another run here up the middle.
2nd and 3, handoff inside the 45 and about to the 40. A 1st down for East St. Louis, number 6, Teron Martin, the ball carrier.
Broke a few tackles there already. You could tell he's an aggressive runner.
First and 10 for East St. Louis in Lancer territory at about the 40.
Empty backfield as of now.
Now running back goes to the right. It's another same formation. We've seen the same formation, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, and they flip it. Takes the snap. The Flyers going to look to throw. Fired over middle. Pass is caught inside the 30, inside the 20, inside the 15, inside the 5, and to the house. And East St. Louis scored. Number 16, Caden Rogers puts the Flyers on the board first. 6-0 East St. Louis.
Yeah, first touchdown was bound to happen at some point. Lancers defense was just not close enough to the wide receivers. They were left a wide open hole up the middle, and a wide receiver took that opportunity right to the end zone.
Rogers, a 40-yard score, gives East St. Louis a 6-0 lead, pending the extra point. Robert Battle on the throw. Wind's starting to pick up here. Extra point, snap the hold. The kick is up and it's blown and blocked.
Looks like the holder got a bad initial grab on that, and he was not able, took him a second to place it right for the kicker.
Belleville East catches a break. We'll be right back at the Belleville East Broadcast Network. The Flyers leading the Lancers 6-0. Welcome back to the Belleville East Broadcast Network. The Flyers make it a 6-0 lead on a 3-play scoring drive that went 58 yards, and then on a Caden Rogers 40-yard touchdown throw from Robert Battle, and the Flyers are kicking off with 8:29 to go here in the first quarter underway. And here comes the kick. The kick is going to be inside the 30. Inside, it's going to take a bounce to the 27. Picked up going right side.
Oh.
And down at the 24-25. He took a hit there. That was number 1, Sonny McGill, who taking kicks today.
It took the wind out of him. It looked like he had a little bit of room on that right side that he was running to.
Ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line, and that's where the Belleville East offense, who went 3 and out, -2 yards on their first drive, will try and get something going here.
Yeah, this game is going to be a great test for Dario Millinder, going up against the St. Louis defense that, like we saw last drive, just put so much immediate pressure in his face that he has to maybe not rely so much on his immediate read and look outside of that.
Defensive line for East St. Louis has been really good so far up to this point, put a lot of pressure on Millinder. 2 to the left, it'll be 1 to the right. And here comes the snap. Miller going to hand it off up the middle, out across the 26, out across the 27, still pushing, now marked down. A gain of about 2. They rustle him down all the way back to the 23. Moisey Trimble on the ball carrier.
Not a bad first down gain for Trimble.
I don't think that's not Trimble. I apologize. That's Noah Peters, the sophomore.
Okay.
For a gain of 2, he's in. He also is the long snapper on this Belleville East team. In that running back. 2nd and 8.
Peters going in tight end now.
1 to the left, 1 to the right, running back about the 25 of the backfield. Millinder in the under center. Wide receiver in motion left to right. Here comes the stab up.
There. See what they have on
3rd and
down.
8. I believe the internet just went out, but we're back. 3rd and 8. Missed the play. It was a pass dropped by Khalil Waller, and there's a whistle. And I don't see a flag. Someone referee timeout maybe? I didn't think I saw anything. Well, Belleville East is backing up 5. And it's going to be a false start. Oh, delay a game.
Delay of game, okay.
Right.
That's killer on a drive like this, especially on 3rd and long. Can't have that.
It is 3rd down and 13 now. A penalty for -5. That was a delay a game, and our first penalty of the game by both sides. 3rd down at 13 for Millinder in the shotgun set. It's going to be 1 to the running back to the right, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Clark in motion right to left. Now 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Ball's at the 22. Takes the snap. Millinder look to throw, slip screen. Pass is caught about the 20, but leveled by East St. Louis defender, still up on the ground, and out about the 23. A gain of a yard. Number 26 was the ball carrier, Moisey Trimble, who broke a yard. Or broke a tackle, getting about 2 or 3. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, the running back screen looked like it was going to be effective there. Obviously, the offensive line purposefully collapsing, but the East St. Louis defensive line and linebackers, their front 7 is just too strong to be fooled by that.
That defensive line, I forgot who, but one of their edge rushers was committed to a college in top 50 and recorded 247 sports in Illinois. Here comes
the St. Louis offense on that second drive. Their offense obviously looked much more smooth.
Okay, I believe the internet cut out again. We're back once again. It cut out for a few seconds. It missed the point. That was to the 33, and that's where East St. Louis will start off. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. QB takes the snap. Going to throw it right side. That pass is caught across the 37. How about the 38? That ball could have been picked, but the wide receiver is just there in a gain of about 6. It'll be 2nd down. Jaden Coleman on the tackle for the Lancers.
Flyers will probably try to, at least early on in this game, just kill the Lancers play by play with maybe some shorter gains, not going for any explosive ones. And then as the game goes on, open up their offense a little bit more and take some more deep shots.
Pretty windy out here. 2nd and 4. Another formation with 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Low
Go
step.
deep.
Going to throw it right side. That pass is caught inside the 35. Inside the 30. It's an East St. Louis 1st down. Number 17, DeAndre Miller on the catch of Flyer 1st down.
And that wasn't bad coverage there by Sonny McGill for the Lancers, but he just could not get his hands up in time to disrupt that pass. Also looked like the Flyers wide receiver had a little bit of a height advantage on him, so that does not help.
Miller on the catch, and the Flyers at the 28. Taking a snap, going to throw, fire right side, passes caught wide receiver at the 24. Inside the 20, brought down at about the 17. A gain of 11 at the East St. Louis 1st down.
Already in the red zone here after 2 great passes.
Gain of 12. Number 4 on the catch, John Daly.
You can tell East St. Louis has so much chemistry together, going no huddle, able to keep the tempo up here and having the Lancers defense stay on their toes.
3 to the right, 1 to the left, taking a snap, right to left, sled, caught inside the 5, he's in for a score. Touchdown, East St. Louis, number 17, DeAndre Miller, who caught the pass 2 Snaps a go, catches this one for a score. East St. Louis 12-0 over the Lancers.
Again, you saw this on the first touchdown from the Flyers, and again on this one. It looks like Belleville East is just a little nervous of the deep potential that East St. Louis has, so they're playing off a little bit. But in a situation like this in the red zone, East St. Louis is going to take advantage of that.
They're going for two, and someone jumped. Maybe not. Okay, here we go. They're going for two as they missed the first extra point. Taking the snap, handoff up the middle, going right side, breaks the tackle, and in. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
they at the ball carrier, and the Lancers stopped him at the one. I was looking at the ball carrier. They fooled me. It was the QB on the read option, like Joey said. They stop him at the one. It's still a two-possession game at 12-0. The Flyers lead. We'll take another short break. We're on the Belleville Broadcast Network. The Flyers lead the Lancers 12-0 with 5:24 to go in the first. Welcome back to the Belleville Broadcast Network. The Flyers have a 12-0 lead. They're going to be kicking this one off. Passes caught, and it's going to be dropped inside the two. And Stubble picking it up, and he's going to be brought down. The four ball's loose, but he's down. Trying to figure, I think that was Sonny McGill on the kick.
All right. Going back to that two-point attempt by the East St. Louis Flyers, that was a great job by the Lancers defense. Many defensive backs there just lifting Robert Battle off the ground. Little plays like that are going to be the ones that are crucial to East to make sure that the Flyers can't run away with this game.
So far, Rogers with the score and Miller with a score have made it 12-0 East St. Louis. Roger at 40-yard pass or reception, and Miller a 12-yard reception. And Robert Battle, the quarterback, threw both of those. And so, not the best special teams play there by Belleville East. Has them at the 5. First and 10. Backed up here. It'll be 3 to the right, 1 to the left in that bunch set. Running back in the backfield, the QB taking the snap and screen and pass got the 6 and to about the 10, pushed forward to the 12, fighting for yards number 7, and it was our player to bank on, Armand Vinson, with the gain of about 8, second down and short.
Good job by Millinder leading Vincent there on the wide receiver screen pass, make him his momentum, push him forward for a few more yards.
Second and 2, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Hand up the middle, and he's going to get left side across the 15, out across the 20, out across the 25, out across the 30, and 2 East St. Louis Flyers defenders make the tackle at the 31. Marcavius Curtin on a big 20-yard run.
Great job by Curtin there. That is the play that this Lancers offense needed to get in rhythm, get some momentum, and they are now up in the pace here. Millinder and shotgun.
First down for the Lancers. First and 10. Screen pass, Vincent right side, but shed the tackler and can't get anywhere. A loss of the yards. He could not get back to the line of scrimmage. Second down and long.
Nice job by Vincent, keeping his head forward there, evading a few tackles to make sure it's not a loss of yards there on first down.
Only lost 1. It'll be second down and 11. Ball spotted at the 30.
Getting the call from the sideline here.
Second and 11, 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left, running back to the right side of the QB, Millinder. Millinder takes the snap, going to look to throw, but they'll pass his caught on the right to left slant, and out to the 40, a gain of about 10, close to the first down marker. Des Clark on the catch on the right to left slant.
Okay, you got to like what the Lancers offense has pulled out in this their third offensive drive. Obviously getting their first downs of the game.
Most likely 4 down territory. Sorry, left to right slant on that one by Des Clark, one of the started receivers. Him, Pickett, and Vincent were the starters for today's game.
Yeah, you can even see Millinder just getting a lot more confidence than even he had against Pekin, and also just on the first drive. He's able to scan the field a lot better and make his decision.
3rd and 1. We'll see if it's 4-down territory. If they don't convert, hand up the middle, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. A loss of about a yard. Marcavius Curtin. It's 4th down. We'll see what the Lancer offense wants to do here.
They're keeping their offense out there. I cannot blame them. In a game like this, every drive is valuable to you. You do not want to give East St. Louis the ball back at all.
Curtin, 3 carries for 17 yards, and the offense now decides to come off the field. 4th down and 2 at the 39. Here comes the punting team.
All right, hopefully the Lancers can pin them back deep here, make them work for on their next offensive drive.
Keithan Jones, the sophomore, back to punt, returner at the 31 for East St. Louis. Here comes a low punt inside the 40, takes a Lancer bounce inside the 35, inside the 30, inside the 25, and still rolling at about the 23. A solid punt by Keithan Jones, the sophomore.
Yeah, getting them at the 23, making them drive 77 yards now here. Still going to be a challenge for this Lancers defense, but much better than having them at the 40 or 50.
On the first drive, the Lancers were able to stop them on a 3 and out. We'll see the last 2 drives have been the complete opposite. Touchdowns on a 3-play scoring drive, and I believe about a 5 or 6-play scoring drive. And here comes the Flyer offense, led by quarterback Robert Battle. Has 2 touchdowns on the day so far to Rogers and Miller.
Yeah, interested to see what adjustments the Lancers defense make on this drive after giving up 2 touchdowns.
Not seeing much handoffs or carries for this Flyer offense. It's been ball in the air.
Wide receiver
Takes a
bubble
snap
screen.
Out across the 20 on the right side, across the 25, out across the 30, and finally brought down by number 11, about the 33. That is Jaden Howard, who's got to make some tackles here today. Gain of 8. I believe that was number 4, which is John Daly, the junior.
2 on each side, split formation here.
Running back to the left of the QB, takes a snap, going to throw a left side. Juke move at the 35, out across the 35, out across the 39. And a first down, it's Jaden Howard again on the stop at East St. Louis, first down to the 40.
Great tackle there by Howard. It looked like that Flyers wide receiver could have got some speed and took it to the house.
I believe John Daly again on that one.
Instead, Howard stopped Staley right in his tracks.
He's got 2 catches for over 20 yards. Takes a snap, going to look to throw. Fire right side, pass is caught, and it's incomplete. Broken up by number 11. It's Jaden Howard once again on the stop.
Great defense there by Howard. He's having a great game so far all over the field.
Oh, Vincent, I guess?
Yeah.
As Mr. Padgett just said, as a public announcer here today, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10. Incomplete though. 1:33 to go left in the first quarter. 12-0 Flyers, they lead. 2nd and 10, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Same formation from the last play. Taking the snap, going to hand it off the middle, and there's the defensive line. Tackle him at the 40. He didn't gain any yards there, and it's 3rd down.
Bryant again making that stop right in the backfield. Yeah, that pass breakup earlier on in the game.
Lordavius Woods, the sophomore, on the ball carrier on that play. 3rd down and long. Can the Lancers get out of a drive? There'll be 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Running back to the left side in the pistol. Takes the snap, going to look to throw.
Pressure.
There's pressure on the right side, trying to scramble. Battle juke move at the 39, and brought down, pushed to the left boundary to about the 42. The Lancers get out of a drive. It's 4th down.
Phenomenal drive there by the Lancers defense. They let him get the first down, but after that, did a really good job of putting pressure on Battle, going up against this great offensive line with, like you mentioned, Steven, a commit to Alabama and a few other college commits on that offensive line. Yet Eugene Bryant and a few other Lancers defensive linemen doing a great job getting pressure.
It'll be 4th down, and East St. Louis looks like to be in a punt formation. Punter at about the 28, and it looks like it is Khalil Waller back at about the 2019